Port Vila, Port Vila is the capital and largest city of Vanuatu and is located on the island of Efate. Its population in the last census was 44,040, an increase of 50% on the previous census result. In 2009, the population of Port Vila formed 18.8% of the country's population, and 66.9% of the population of Efate. Situated on the south coast of the island of Efate, in Shefa Province, Port Vila is the economic and commercial center of Vanuatu. The current mayor is Ulrich Sumter, of the Union of Moderate Parties, elected in January 2014. His deputy is Limaro Malakai, of the Vanuatu Party. On March 13, 2015, Port Vila bore extensive damage from Cyclone Pam. Name. Locally, the town is most commonly referred to simply as Vila. The name of the area is ʻviːlə in the native South Efate language and ʻviːlə in neighboring ʻviːlə language. Vila is a variant of these names. Today, ʻviːlə refers to the small island in Vila Harbour where many of the area's traditional landowners reside. History. The area occupied by Port Vila has been inhabited by Melanesian people for thousands of years. In autumn of 2004, an archaeological expedition known as Tiauma discovered a burial site of 25 tombs containing 36 skeletons of members of the Lapita culture. Pieces of ceramics found at the site were dated to the 13th century BC. In May of 1606, the first Europeans arrived at the island, led by the Portuguese explorers Pedro Fernandes de Queiroz and Luis Vaz de Torres. In the 19th century, when the islands were known as the New Hebrides, the British possessed economic control of the zone, though by the end of 1880, the economic balance began to favor the French. This transition can be seen in its nickel mines of New Caledonia and plantations. French citizen Ferdinand Chevillard began buying and clearing land around Port Vila to be converted into the largest French plantation on the island. Instead, it was converted into the municipality of Franceville, which declared independence on August 9, 1889. Though this only lasted until June of the following year, it was the first self-governing nation to practice universal suffrage without distinction of sex or race. Although the population at the time consisted of about 500 native islanders and fewer than 50 whites, only the latter were permitted to hold office. One of the elected presidents was a U.S. citizen by birth, R.D. Polk, a relative of American President James K. Polk. After 1887, the territory was jointly administered by the French and the British. This was formalized in 1906 as an Anglo-French condominium. During World War II, Port Vila was an American and Australian air base. In 1987, Cyclone Uma severely damaged the city. A powerful earthquake in January 2002 caused minor damage in the capital and surrounding areas. The city suffered massive damage from a Category 5 cyclone named Cyclone Pam in March 2015, whose eye wall passed just to the east of Port Vila. Economy and transport. Port Vila is Vanuatu's most important harbour and the centre of the country's trade. The international airport, Bouwfield International, is also located in the city. Air Vanuatu has its head office in Vanuatu House in Port Vila. Major industries in the city remain agriculture and fishing. Tourism is also becoming important, especially from Australia and New Zealand. There were over 50,000 visitors in 1997. Vanuatu is a tax haven, and offshore financing in Port Vila is an important part of the economy. Vanuatu is still dependent on foreign aid, most of which comes from Australia and New Zealand, although in recent years aid has also come from the People's Republic of China. One example was New Zealand paying to train doctors selected from the local community, then paying part of the wages during the first year after qualification. Australia has paid consultants to work in Port Vila Central Hospital. 35.7% of exports leave from Port Vila and 86.9% of imports arrive in Port Vila. Demographics: the population is around 45,000, predominantly Melanesian, with small Polynesian, Asian, Australian and European populations, mainly French and British. Language: Bislama is spoken by everyone as the day-to-day language. In addition, English and French are also widespread. Other indigenous languages are also spoken in the city. Religion: Christianity is the predominant religion across Vanuatu, followed by more than 90% of the population. The largest denomination is the Presbyterian Church in Vanuatu, followed by 1/3 of the population. Roman Catholicism and the Church of Melanesia are also common, each about 15%. Catedral do Sacré-Cœur is a modern Roman Catholic cathedral in Port Vila, the seat of the Diocese of Port Vila. The church is dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Climate: Port Vila has a tropical climate, more specifically a tropical rainforest climate, with noticeably wetter and drier months. Rainfall averages about 2,360 mm per year, and the wettest month is April. The driest month is September. There are 113 wet days in an average year. The area also has southeast trade winds. Temperatures do not vary very much at all throughout the year, and the record high is 34 C. The coldest month, August, has an average high of 24 C and an average low of 18 C. The hottest month, February, has an average high of 29 C and an average low of 23 C. The record low for Port Vila is 12 C. Humidity is often high. Culture and sites: the capital of Vanuatu has various sites to offer. There are several memorials, e.g., opposite the Parliament, where two traditional totem poles and a monument representing a pig's tusk can be seen. The Presbyterian Church of Port Vila is an impressive and site-worthy building opposite the Independence Park. A colourful wall painting can be seen on the administration building opposite the Market Hall. Another noteworthy wall painting is on the facade of the post office. The City Hall of Port Vila is an oblong and site-worthy building on a hill in the city centre. Vanuatu Cultural Centre: the Vanuatu Cultural Centre, hosting the Vanuatu National Museum, is located at the Saralana Park in front of the National Parliament, close to the National Library and the Malvatu Maori. This institution is an important place for the preservation and promotion of the different aspects of the local culture. Traditional artifacts from several islands are on display in the museum. The centre hosts also the National Audio-Visual Archives, which is the most important fund of documents from the late 19th century until today. Government: the municipality of Port Vila is divided into 4 wards and administered by a council consisting of 14 members. The 4 wards are ʻpɔərt, western and far northern neighborhoods; ʻviːlə, northern and eastern neighborhoods; center, Nambawan and seaside neighborhoods; south, Nambatus, Numbertree, and Eluk neighborhoods. ʻpɔərt and south are allotted 3 representatives each to the council, while ʻviːlə and center have 4. The municipality handles primary education education, primary health care, regional planning, road maintenance and construction, trash collection, cemeteries, parks and open spaces, and the promotion of tourism. There are also unplanned settlements such as Black Sands, which are effectively suburbs of Vila but are outside the municipality. Living conditions in some of these neighborhoods are very poor, and lack of service provision and insecure land tenure are major problems. Education. Port Vila is one location of the University of the South Pacific, an educational institution co-owned by 12 Pacific countries. The Vanuatu campus is the only law school in the university, and it also teaches languages. Upper secondary institutions include Lycée Français J.M. Clésio. World Heritage. Port Vila was the location in August 1999 for the important UNESCO meeting, Second World Heritage Global Strategy meeting for the Pacific Islands region. One of the major topics with reference to Vanuatu and the Pacific region was the question of the suitability of underwater heritage for inscription on the World Heritage List. Constituency. Port Vila is one of the 18 constituencies in Vanuatu, and elects 6 members of parliament. Following the 2008 general election, its representatives are twin towns, sister cities. Port Vila is twinned with Shanghai, China. Luganville, Vanuatu.